All right, welcome back Twitch and YouTube to just another game. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Whether I looked at that or not, you'll never know. So last time we pretty much got all the endings that we are interested in, except for one of them. We're gonna be able to get through this fairly quick because I'm just gonna be going through and looking at a few scenes. I may have to do the puzzles. I don't think I have to. But last time we ended up getting the knife scene in which, or the knife ending in which somebody stabs Lotus and then stabs everybody else. Or at least stabs Junpei for discovering Lotus's body. Whoever that was the person that benefits the most from having the 8 bracelet. That is half the endings that we can get from going through the 6th door, which is right here. As you can see, we now have these red keys and this red log. To get the next ending that we need, and which is required for the true ending, we're going to have to go through a particular path of going through the 5 door, going through the 8 door, and then going through the 6 door again. Because going through the 5 door and going through the 8 door is necessary for information that we're going to need by the time we get to the 6th door to go to the ending that we're going for. Now, by going, we've gone through the 6th door at least once, and we've been through path 5 and I think path 8 at least once before. There's something special about going through 5, 8, and 6. You can't do this by going through 4, 8, and 6. And you can't do this by going through any combination of 5, 7, and 6, or 4, 7, and 6. You can only get this ending by going through 5, 8, and 6. If you go through any other ending, or any other combination, you will get the knife ending. By going through 5, 8, and 6, we're going to get a very special required ending that will let us proceed here. So to do that, we need to actually make the choice of going through the 5 door. And then, as I said, I don't think we necessarily need to do puzzles in the 6th door, which is great, because I don't really want to do them again.
Sure, not good.
Well,
we should be able to unlock them just by looking at certain scenes.
But who's going to...
But we need to make these choices
Wait.
before we go there, otherwise the game will just have us choose a random door.
Oh,
Hey man, if you think I'm... What the hell, man? Yeah.
So, gotta go through all this dialogue again.
fine. I can't go anyone else.
Oh,
What?
Because
That's if you're...
what am I?
Clever's happy here.
If I said, and if you
7 with digital.
Oh,
It's kind of funny how happy Clever is in this ending when we know she, or in this at this point in time, when she knows we know she's gonna be crazy later.
It's 4. Add up.
Then we can...
Yeah. So the team.
For
7.
some reason, she really
Lotus.
loves her brother, and we really don't want to think about the fact or the idea. I don't even want to call it a fact.
Or should I?
It's the idea that
all right then.
it is canon that they do not wear
I'm going through
underwear
door.
in their household.
We're over there...
The doors. Which?
All right, we're going through door 5. We have to go through door 5.
Hey, wait. I want to go.
What? If you're going
Okay,
through that
so
door,
nobody's
then
happy
I'm going
about
with
that.
No.
You. Why?
We're.
No, the reason we got to go through door 5 is by going
Please.
through door 5,
Man,
June. If
we
we're Ace,
gain the knowledge of
Don't go...
you need go to.
No!
Don't be so.
the safe that we find behind the door, in the first class cabin or whatever it is. Whatever the room we go through door 5, we learn about the safe. That's going to be very important to this ending. We're finally going to actually kind of investigate
Let's make sure we've got this.
what that
Those
safe
go me,
is about.
7 plus, and the digital.
There's
And those going to
also
Lotus,
kind of
8,
a
and the digit.
hint
We're okay with it.
no
with
problem.
the fact that we're
Yes.
going through
All right,
the
then.
5 door and not the 4 door. It is actually impossible from the
lever's all
events
that's-
of their
okay.
game, as far as the events of the game are concerned, it is now impossible to get the knife ending. The knife ending will never happen
All right then.
if we go through 5,
Okay.
8, and 6. It can still happen if we go through 4, 7, and 6, but it's a lot less likely.
We will.
As far as getting the knife ending, it is far more common by going through door 4. I would argue it's actually a little bit of a stretch for the knife ending to happen
Oh.
by going
That's
through door
bad.
5, but it still does if you go through 5, 7, and 6. There are some assumptions that are made there.
How
if
can
you
you-
do it that way?
Do you intend to kill?
That
Sorry.
kind of
go.
allow the knife to a knife ending to happen. By going through door 4, the knife ending is a lot more believable to be happening. Okay, so let's see here. I know that doesn't make any sense, but I'll explain why that happens later on. It's very important. Alright, so we've made the choice to go through door 5. So some of our keys are now unlocked. We can, as you can see here, we can just go to here. And we're gonna make the choice to go through door 8. Now we
Well, we
have
can't, right? You say something?
No.
we have seen these scenes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
Ah,
So by going through
first.
door 8,
it's the same numbers.
got it. You're next,
the
7.
game will
I'll take
assume
What?
that we
Who,
have
me?
seen these scenes before. We'll know that we have seen these scenes before, even though we
Alright,
don't watch
who's
them on
next?
this playthrough.
Junpei?
And this will unlock a bunch of other keys. We want to go through door 8.
Okay, yeah. All right then.
What?
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 If the 6 there are only have 4 more, there are no. In other words, you get it now?
Oh no, you're saying.
Hey,
Blah, blah, blah.
This is just. We got split. All bets.
You mean
Yeah.
probably?
Probably.
I'm sure they're gonna.
Why?
If in other words,
Alright,
zeros.
so
damn,
we're
he's
just
not
going to play through this dialogue until the game confirms that we have
Everything's
chosen 8,
Yes.
which usually happens
Anyway,
once we're
Clover
ready
and I
to
figure
go
out
to the
any
red.
problem.
What up?
All right, let's move.
And that should do it. Double check here. Yes, so we've now made the choice to go through 8. And these keys are unlocked. So now we can jump through here. We're going to make the final choice to go through the 6th door.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just double.
Yes.
We need to hurry it.
Yeah. All right.
Alright, so these keys aren't going to unlock
First one, Ace request.
right
Yes,
away
I
because
know.
we haven't seen some
Next
of these
is-
scenes
Yeah.
that go through the 6th door. Going through the
there's-
8th
No,
door
there-
is
But-
basically
Just give
key
it up. Sound like I
to
want.
I am not an expert.
Barely.
at least
So-
one of the scenes
Maybe.
that happens
Nobody wants to have.
Oh, I'm...
behind door 6 that will allow
Oh.
us to go through the safe ending, which we haven't
What?
seen.
Junpei.
There is a second scene that we haven't seen
one-
by going through
Yes.
door 6, but it doesn't really relate to door 8.
So this was everyone's vote.
Or, as far as I know, door 5 at all. Gonna have to
Ace
watch
and
that scene
Clover.
again to see how it's relevant to door 5 and door
7 and Lotus
8.
request. The door. Okay, I want
Alright, we want to go through door 6.
to go through.
Alright,
That's none of these.
Clover. Lotus and I. That's not enough. The digital.
We've got
so now once
June
again,
at
we
our
just gotta play through this dialogue, look at Lotus's breasts, until we actually get to go down to door 6.
What
I
about
like how
me?
7
Isn't that
always treats
awesome?
You mean I?
Lotus like she's old when there are plenty of people who would
I understand. If
definitely
we
be
do as Clover
attracted
has suggested, this seems to be the
Lotus
most-
as a mother,
7.
I don't
for
know.
sure.
Me.
All right then.
See you later.
A whole segment of the
Wait,
internet
Clover.
would be into that.
Oh, I'll be.
Yeah.
We should get.
Kind of plays on the idea that 7 is very much an
This
kind
is
of an asshole in
Edek.
his own way, kind of a misogynist in his own way, and it relates a little bit to his profession as a potential cop,
There should be a door.
All right.
having certain ideas about women.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Then let's get to it.
All right, and that should do it. So now that we've activated that, let's go to our flowchart, and we are ready to go. So now these keys have not unlocked, and this lock is not unlocked. Everything else is set up. So we need to go here, and we're going to need to go to the engine room. And we have some checkpoints. So we can skip ahead a little bit.
I believe the box has reached the floor.
And this happens just after we find the winch, and we lower the winch, we lower the box to get the part that we need to activate the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Stuck his head over the side of the catwalk and looked down. The box that had only been recently hung just below the catwalk now sat on the floor. It can rest near the end of the tunnel that covered the conveyor belt.
June's down over by there.
Junpei could see her still leaning against the wall as if she barely had the strength to sit up. Even from so far away, it's not difficult to see that she had not improved. He almost thought he could see heat rising from her body.
She doesn't seem to be improving.
The hell you think? Ace's expression was inscrutable, but he said what they'd all been thinking.
Well, of course not. She's not gonna just get better right away, you know? It'll take time.
He tried desperately to convince himself that what he'd said was true.
What could be causing this, I wonder? Illness, perhaps?
Nah, it's gotta be exhaustion.
Senna's response was confident and certain.
She gets dropped into some weird-ass ship, forced to play some messed-up game. If you think about it, it's a lot weirder that we aren't freaking out just like her, you know?
So you're saying we're abnormal?
Yeah, we're just running around this room, solving all these puzzles like it's just business as usual.
But I like these puzzles.
How the hell could you call that normal? We're just guinea pigs.
Santa snorted in disgust.
A guinea pig? You mean like a lab rat? You mean we're being used for some sort of experiment? Is that what you're saying?
Dunno. But it does seem like a possibility, you know?
They stood there for a few more minutes, no one speaking until Senna turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him.
You know, speaking of experiments...
Alright, so this doesn't, as far as I know, this doesn't have anything to do with the events we saw behind door 8 or door 5, but it is more experiments about morphogenetic field theory. Senna suddenly stopped.
There was this experiment some scientists did with rats. First, they took a squarish C-shaped tank and filled it with enough water that the rats could drown in it. The tank has 2 exits. Just to make it easy, we'll call one A and the other B. Exit A is pitch black, so dark even a rat can't see anything. But exit B is electrified, which means the rat can't leave through it. So, what would a rat do if it was put in this situation? Which exit would the rat choose?
There was a moment of silence after Senna posed the question, and then Ace responded.
B, of course. The rat has no way of knowing that exit B is electrified.
Exactly. The rat goes to exit B. Of course, like I said, it's electrified. Which means the rat can't get out that way. So, after a lot of trial and error, the rat finally finds exit A.
I can't say that's very interesting or relevant. It's simply the story of a laboratory experiment.
You're right. It isn't very interesting. Yet. See, these scientists repeated this experiment over and over, using hundreds of different rats over several generations. This produced some surprising results. With each generation, the rats took less time to find the correct exit.
Poor rats.
Eventually, a rat was put in the tank who instantly chose exit A without even attempting to go to exit B. But that wasn't the most impressive part. The same experiment was conducted in another laboratory, far from the original one, with the same results. No, on second thought, the results weren't really the same. The rats in this second experiment began the trials with significantly faster times than the first rats in the initial one. These rats weren't related to the others and had never even come in contact with them. And yet, they all easily found their way to exit A as though they already knew. What did it mean?
Are you suggesting something like telepathy? They were passing information to one another through some undetectable medium?
Ace looked skeptical. Senna snorted at him.
How the hell would I know? I'm not any kind of scientist. I don't know what made him do that. But I do know that story's true. And if you've got another explanation, I'd sure love to hear it. Come on, let's get going. There's still a lot here we haven't checked out. And we gotta get the hell out of here before June passes out.
Without waiting for a response, he turned around and started walking. Junpei, however, wasn't quite ready to leave the topic alone.
Hey, wait. There's something I want to ask you.
What?
Senna stopped and turned around.
Why did they use that tank for the experiment?
Huh?
Well, I mean, it seems like you could conduct the same experiment without the water. They could have just used a dry box, you know? If they needed to motivate the rats to escape, they could have, I don't know, put some bait by exit B or something. I mean, do they really have to make it so the rats can drown?
Senna gave a grim bark of a laugh.
You know, the word emergency comes from the same root as the word emerge. You ever think about that?
Huh?
Well, an emergency is something urgent, often something dangerous. And to emerge means to sort of come out, or appear, or rise out of something else. So what's going to emerge in an emergency? Inspiration.
Inspiration?
Yeah. Think about it. When the chips are down, either you crack or your mind focuses and pulls up what you need.
So in an emergency, your real potential emerges. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's why the rats had to drown. They had to be in danger. There had to be an emergency for inspiration to emerge.
Oh.
Junpei suddenly felt cold. The back of his head was aching and his stomach felt strange. Alright, so now that key is unlocked. There we go, back up. So now we got another kind of more relevant key here, at least to the events of what happens behind door 8. Let's go back to the 9 photos checkpoint. This is when we're
Now we finally have all 9 picture cards.
putting the picture cards in the box.
We just need to insert these cards into the slots at the front of each box.
Junpei stared at the cards in his hands. Ace peered over his shoulder at them.
You know which card goes in which box, yes?
Junpei gave him a look.
Yeah, of course I do. It's really obvious. You just match our numbers to the numbers, then you pop the corresponding card in the right box. So for instance, the card with the picture of Ace on it goes into box 1. The card with the picture of Snake on it goes into box 2, and so on.
Oh, I see.
Huh? What is it?
Junpei thought he might have imagined it, but he could have sworn Ace stiffened. Just then, Junpei heard a noise. He spun around just in time to see June collapse in front of the fence.
Hey! June, are you okay?
She did not respond. Junpei spun back to face Ace.
I'm sorry, I gotta go check on her. You finish the box thing, alright? Just put the cards in the boxes. I'm counting on you!
He shoved the cards into Ace's hands and ran off toward June.
Are you alright? What happened?
Junpei called out to her as he ran.
Can you stand?
As he arrived, June was climbing to her feet with Senna's help.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fine. I just tripped.
Don't give me that. Now is not the time.
But it's true. I tripped over a box.
Just let me see for a sec.
Junpei put his palm on her forehead.
Huh.
You're still warm.
Her temperature was much the same as it had been the last time he checked. She wasn't hot like she'd been before, but she was still warm. Her fever wasn't completely gone.
I saw her fall. I think she really did just trip on something, you know?
Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't quite needed so much help standing up.
Still, to fall down like that? I think she's probably still a little messed up.
June was doing her best to busy herself brushing dust off of her dress. Her smile looked a little embarrassed and her face was a bit flushed. But she did look a great deal better than she had. Still.
Alright, well, let's just get out of here as fast as we can so we can get you to a hospital.
Oh, I don't think it's anything that serious. I just need a little medicine and some sleep, and I'll be fine.
Medicine. Medicine, huh? Well, if we could get in touch with anyone outside, I'll bet Ace could swing that for you easy.
Ace? Why?
Huh? Don't you know? He's the president of a pharmaceutical company. Cradle Pharmaceuticals is the name, I think. Their flagship product is an anesthetic drug called Soparil.
Soparil. Soparil. I've heard of that before somewhere.
Junpei couldn't shake the feeling that he'd heard about Soparil before. Santa continued.
Soparil. It's an anesthetic that's a gas at room temperature. A lot like how nitrous oxide is. It takes only a few seconds to spread, and even a small amount is very effective. A bunch of countries quickly accepted it for widespread use within their police and military forces. It was an effective crowd suppressant and room clearer.
I wanted Junpei to help me out. I wanted Junpei to touch me all over my body.
It was practical, ethical, and the humane nature of it made it the ideal drug. It's been around for about 6 years. They developed it from the extracts of several different roots. It became popular almost as soon as it was made public, with many governments placing large orders. Demand for Soparil skyrocketed, and of course that meant Cradle Pharmaceuticals stock did too.
So this kind of plays off of I believe off Door 5 in some ways. I think Santa mentioned specifically that he made money off of Cradle Pharmaceuticals going public.
Why do you know all of this?
Senna's information was interesting, but Junpei couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. Senna's reply was blunt and simple.
I heard it from the old man himself.
From Ace? When?
By the number 4 door at the central stairway, when we were searching the second-class room. Remember how Snake, Seven, and you went to door 5? It was back then. I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he ran his own company. After that, we just started talking, and I guess it just came up, you know?
Huh.
Are you worried about something?
No, nothing.
As he spoke, Junpei looked over to Ace. He seemed to be having difficulty with the 9 boxes.
What the hell is he doing?
He turned back to June and Santa.
June, don't push yourself, all right?
Yes.
Santa, could you take care of her? I'll go check on Ace. Looks like he's having trouble.
Sure.
He gave them both a short nod, then turned and headed toward Ace.
What are you doing?
Ace's back was to him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around to look at him. His face was pale and covered in sweat.
What happened?
Nothing. My vision has gotten rather blurry, I think, because of fatigue. I can't see very well at the moment.
What can't you see well?
These pictures.
Ace held the cards out to Junpei, splayed in the shape of a fan.
I don't care to admit it, but I may be developing presbyopia. Growing old is a difficult thing.
He made the best attempt he could at self-depreciating smile, but his face was flushed and his lips were pale and drawn.
At any rate, I'll leave the rest to you. I'm feeling awfully tired, so if you don't mind, I'd like to rest for a bit.
No, only Akane is allowed to rest. He shoved the cards into Junpei's hands and walked quickly away. Junpei looked at him quizzically.
How could simply looking at cards have tired him out?
Junpei looked down at the cards in his hands. All of the pictures were quite clear, and each person easily recognizable. Was Ace's vision truly so bad?
But if it wasn't, what had made him so uncomfortable?
That was when Junpei remembered what he had heard from Lotus much earlier.
Prosopagnosia. Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours. So they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to.
Maybe he's got prosopagnosia?
Junpei took another look at Ace. He sat at the base of the stairs looking quite depressed.
Well, he looks depressed enough to have it.
If he really did have prosopagnosia, there is no doubt it was a depressing and painful experience. Still, Junpei didn't feel like patting him on the shoulder and telling him everything would be alright would help that much. Still, Junpei felt perhaps it was best to keep Ace's condition to himself, at least for the time being.
Oh well.
Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned his back toward the boxes.
Time to solve the 9 boxes puzzle.
9 cards with pictures and 9 boxes. Junpei stared at them a moment, and then began. It was kind of hinted that Ace
box 1, Snakes is in number 2.
kind of
I
had
just need to do the
trouble
same
with
for
faces because he
And finally, the 9th man's card.
gone with Ireland has huge tracts of land. Ace had trouble kind of determining that Clover
No.
and
I guess I'll take him with me.
or he basically what happened was when Junpei brought up how Clover and Snake don't really look alike or don't really look like siblings, Ace was kind of caught by a surprise. Like Ace didn't agree right away. It didn't seem to really know what Junpei was talking about. It was kind of played off a little bit like, oh, they're fraternal siblings, of course. They don't look like each other, right? And it's kind of an early hint that Ace really just has no idea what Clover and Snake look like outside their hair and their clothes and everything else. All right, now that we've done that, this is now unlocked. So now we can now get the ending that was locked from us before. We're gonna go down the other path. They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they headed back toward the main hall and the central staircase. It didn't take them long.
Look, it's
7 and Lotus.
They didn't look happy.
We've got a problem.
Clover is gone.
what?
Junpei and his 3 companions looked at one another. He turned back to 7 and Lotus.
What do you mean, gone?
Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions to ask.
When?
Why?
You two went into door 1 with Clover, didn't you?
7 and Lotus responded as best they could.
Yeah, we went through the door together.
But Clover barely spoke to us.
She just did her own thing the whole time.
There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1.
She wouldn't let us into the 4th room.
She just said, I'll take care of this one.
And shut the door.
She must have blocked it with something on the other side.
We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out.
We called for her, but she didn't answer.
So I kicked down the door and we went into the room.
But
It was empty.
Clover wasn't there.
There was a door on the other wall.
And it was open.
We figure she opened the door and left by herself.
We ran after her, of course, but
Well, obviously we didn't find her. You figured that much out.
Clover's gone.
Junpei thought for a moment.
When did this happen?
We got here just before you.
You certainly have excellent timing.
So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase?
No, we haven't.
Finally, Ace spoke. His voice had an edge of resolve and concern.
Very well then. We'd best separate and look for Clover. We haven't much time left. Let's begin.
Yeah.
There were quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players spread out. Junpei and June ran to the large hospital room together. As quickly as they could, they searched around and under the beds and in the corners.
She's not here.
So this is already different in that we actually have June with us, and there's going to be some additional dialogue instead of Junpei just showing up at room after room and finding nothing.
No, she isn't.
Alright, just in case, we should go take a look in the shower room.
Shower room?
That's where her brother is. She might have gone to see him.
June bit her lip. She knew, as Junpei did, that there was only one thing to see in the shower room, and it wasn't pleasant.
Well, we might as well check, right? Let's go.
There was a screwdriver stuck between the door and the frame.
Good. We can still get in.
We should thank 7 later.
Junpei and June slipped through the door, moved down the hallway, and stepped into the shower room.
No luck.
Yeah, I don't think she's here.
June's voice was faint, and she placed her hands over her mouth. Her face looked a little green.
The smell is horrible.
The stench in the room was almost unbearable. It had grown far more unpleasant since their last visit. If Junpei had eaten a lunch, he would have had difficulty retaining it. He wanted to leave the room as soon as possible, but he had to be sure. And the only way to be sure was to check the other side of the divider.
Let's check the back, just to be sure.
Jun offered no resistance and nodded weakly to Junpei as he headed around the divider. He stopped at the corner and turned his head.
No, she's not here.
As he'd expected, Clover was nowhere to be seen. The only thing on the other side of the divider was a dead body lying in a reddish-brown puddle of drying blood.
Snake, just where did your sister go?
And Junpei whispered what once was Snake. He'd asked rhetorically, of course, and there's no way he'd get an answer. He gave a deep sigh.
Such a horrible way to go. The skull shattered, the left arm's hideously twisted. Huh? Wait.
The bright white of the Yulna was clearly visible through the remains of skin and muscle. Bright white. Yulna.
Bones.
The pieces fell into place. Junpei remembered something Clover had told him in the laboratory.
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. The accident hurt him really bad.
Of course. Of course. Why didn't I realize it earlier?
Clover had told Junpei that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. But the left arm of the corpse behind the divider was quite clearly a real human arm, or at least it had been once. That meant the corpse.
Jumpy?
Jun's unsure voice at Junpei's suddenly strange behavior drew his attention back to her.
Oh, sorry for making you wait. Let's go.
Junpei and Jun headed back toward the large hospital room. They stepped through the door and out of the shower room. Down the hallway they went, searching for Clover in every corner. They had reached the stairs when Seven appeared, breathless and yelling.
Junpei! June! Where were you guys?
He looked pale and his face was drawn. Something terrible had happened. Junpei's breath caught in his throat.
Did something happen?
Seven drew a shaking hand across his forehead and gulped down a breath of air.
Clover is dead.
Okay, well, that's not optimal.
I found her in the first-class bathroom.
All sound ceased for Junpei. The world was an empty, muffled expanse. Then he began to hear his own breathing. Jun's mouth moved, but he'd heard nothing. She tried once more, and then her energy was gone, and she collapsed against the wall. He could have helped her, but he hadn't, and now she was dead. So he stood there, frozen in place.
Clover. Clover. Why? Why did this happen?
He forced his body to move. Each step felt like another nail pounded into his heart. Finally, he was in front of her. He knelt and placed 3 fingers against Clover's neck. No pulse. No breath. But she was still warm and her eyes were closed peacefully. It would have been easy to think she was asleep. Easy that was, if it were it not for the slowly expanding puddle of blood beneath her. He traced its source to her back, a gash just beneath her shoulder blade. Was the weapon a knife, perhaps? If it was a knife, the killer had taken it when they left. When he closed his eyes, he saw Clover smile.
Clover.
Her innocent smile, her energy. He would never see her smile again.
No way.
He could have done something. He could have helped her. His stomach twisted itself into a sickening knot.
Let's get out of here, Jun.
Junpei lifted a limp Jun from the floor and carried her from the bathroom.
Are you all right?
It was a foolish question, and he knew it.
Yes, I think so.
Her voice was weak. The fever had gone down, but the emotional scars she'd received were not likely to recede as quickly. Junpei laid his hand on her shoulder, and they walked back to the bathroom.
You should get some rest. Here, the bed. Can you sit?
Yes.
She nodded once and stared at the floor. There were 4 others in the room: Ace, Lotus, Santa, and Seven. They all stared at nothing, their faces drawn and tired. After a while, they drifted into the bathroom to see Clover's corpse for themselves. Once everyone was back in the bedroom, Junpei walked slowly to the center of it and looked around as the slumped figures gathered there. Wow, okay.
Who was the first to find the body?
Me.
Seven spoke from behind Junpei. He turned around. Seven's hand was up.
Why did you come to this room?
To look for Clover. Why else? I found her body in the bathroom. As soon as I did, I ran outside. I got to the top of the stairs by the casino and yelled as loud as I could. Hey, guys! I found her, but it's bad! She's in the bathroom in the first-class cabin! Come quick! Or something like that. Then I went back to the bathroom. Ace, Santa, and Lotus showed up real soon after that. But I guess you two hadn't heard me or something because you didn't show. So I took off down the stairs to look for you. After that, I mean, you know the rest, right?
Junpei nodded and closed his eyes. There was one more thing he needed to ask.
Seven. There's one more thing I'm worried about.
What?
You stuck one of those plates in between the door and the frame, right? Why did you do that?
Come on, didn't I already tell you that? I did it so that the door wouldn't lock. So we could come back to this room? Oh, you think I did it?
Well, I don't know. That kind of depends on what you say, doesn't it?
For crying out loud.
Seven sighed and shook his head.
Follow me.
There were 2 doors standing next to one another. He opened the door on the right.
A closet?
Yeah.
Seven stepped inside. He stood in front of one of the shelves that filled it and gestured to a small box. The box was a small metal cube. He looked at Junpei.
This is the reason. This safe. We couldn't open it when we were getting through this room. I figured there might be something pretty important in it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I figured eventually we might figure out what the numbers are for the safe. And if we did, I didn't want to screw around with door 5 again. So I put the plate in the exit door so we could get back in that way. You get it now?
Yeah.
Junpei nodded and looked at the safe. He grabbed the handle and shook it.
Figured it wouldn't open.
It was as locked as it had been when Seven found it.
Huh?
There was one change, however.
This is...
Just underneath the safe was a pile of fine reddish-brown powder.
rust.
Junpei stared at it, considering.
If there's rust here, that means... Has someone opened the safe?
Junpei left the closet. Seven followed him back to the bedroom.
Huh?
It was cold and quiet. No one spoke. They sat, frozen in place by shock and grief and fatigue. The room felt tiny and oppressive, and the thick metallic smell of blood filled the room. Junpei turned and headed for the living room. Anything to get out of there. Good for
Maybe
him
there's
for
another
coming out of the
clue.
closet. Wow.
Anything that might lead us to discover who stabbed Clover.
As quickly as they could, they searched around and under the beds and in the corners. His eyes caught on the door. The door that led to the passageway of door number 5.
Behind this door. The ninth man's body is behind there. Maybe I should have another look at it, just in case.
Quietly, he pushed open the door.
Ugh.
The smell hit him like a blow to the face.
Oh, the hell? This smell is...
His lungs contracted, unwilling to inhale such fetid air. Acid boiled up from the base of his stomach, churning what little food was there into a violent froth.
Oh.
It was too much for him, and he vomited. A thin stream of yellow water and bile splattered on the floor. He wiped his mouth weakly and stared at the dead body. Chunks of torn flesh lay in an arc around the body. What remained of its intestines had slid out onto the floor. The pool of blood that framed it was half dry, but so thick that it had taken on a texture not unlike that of an egg yolk prepared sunny side up. On the floor next to the broken mask of the man's head lay his glasses, cracks spattering across the lenses. The bloodstains near them had already dried, like scabs on the floor.
Wait,
That was when he noticed.
it's gone. His bracelet. It's gone. It was right next to the glasses.
But now, it was gone. The number 9 bracelet was gone.
But why?
Had someone taken it? He was turning it over and over in his mind when he heard Seven's voice.
Huh? Where'd Junpei go?
It had drifted out to him from the living room.
Mm,
Junpei walked slowly out of the hallway.
Oh, there you are. Were you looking for something in the hallway?
Seven looked up as Junpei entered the room.
yeah.
Did you find something?
He thought for a moment before he responded.
No, nothing.
Technically, it wasn't a lie. He hadn't found anything. In a way, in fact, that was the problem. Something he'd expected to find hadn't been there. The 9th man's bracelet.
What's up?
Well, I wanted you to take a look at something.
What is it?
Seven led Junpei back to the bathroom.
Clover.
As Clover's corpse came into view, he felt his heart flip and then fall to the bottom of his stomach. Something between a sigh and a groan escaped his lips.
What was it you wanted to show me?
His voice was hollow and empty.
I searched Clover's body again. A real shame. She was stabbed once in the back, probably by a knife or something. And I found this.
As he spoke, he moved around Clover's head, then knelt down and flipped open her right hand. Oh no, a murder! Hi, Rain. I don't know why Sun Alerts isn't working, but hello. A murder in this game! How unusual and unexpected.
What?
She was holding a piece of paper.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing.
What?
He wasn't sure what that meant, but it likely didn't matter. The paper was more important. Such a big fan of murder. Mordor. Mordor. More doors.
I'm opening it.
He picked it up and carefully opened it. Way to disturb the crime scene. You were just told not to do that. There were 2 sentences written on it.
Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Ah, now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand.
What is this? Some kind of secret code?
I'm gonna say. Sen appeared over Junpei's shoulder at the note. Junpei stepped away from Clover's body and into the living room. He began to pace, attempting to decode the note.
A code.
The first clue was likely the phrase sinister hand. Sinister hand means the left hand.
Sinister was a term used in heraldry that meant to the left of the bearer of a coat of arms. The left hand. The left hand. What does the left hand mean?
Junpei looked at his own left arm, at the bracelet on his wrist.
Does the darkness of the sinister hand have something to do with the bracelet?
He examined the bracelet closely.
There's 2 things sticking out on either side of the face. The left and right sides of the face. Left and right. Left and right. Right and left. Truth is gone. Truth gone.
Truth, gone. Maybe those 2 words. What else could gone and truth mean?
What else could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, means something that is correct, something that's fact. In other words, something that is right. You could then safely assume that gone means left. After all, after someone left, they were gone. But in this case, they clearly refer to their directional homonyms. Then truth equals right, and gone equals left.
Junpei looked at the bracelet again.
The left and right of the bracelet. These 2 things sticking out. So if I...
Pressed them in the following order. Right, left, right, left. Truth is gone, truth is gone, truth is gone. And then one after another, 8 numbers flashed on, then off of the face of Junpei's bracelet. How we doing? We're doing pretty good.
Wait, did it just...
He checked one more time to be sure. I'm doing pretty good. I don't know about her. She's a mystery.
14383421.
You got your third glowy weapon. All right. 1438 3421.
Huh? Hey, what are those numbers?
Junpei didn't answer. He couldn't answer. He had no idea what they were either. Besides, he was sure that he would forget the numbers and the order they came in if he said anything. That was your third one? Gotcha.
14383421.
Muttering the numbers to himself over and over, Junpei headed toward the bedroom.
14383421. 14383421. 14383421. 14383421.
Before long, he found himself in front of the safe again. Its lock was the only device he could think of that required a sequence of numbers such as the one he just discovered. Besides, someone had opened the safe at least once already. Had Clover come to the bedroom to open it? Junpei slowly dialed in the numbers the bracelet had given him.
1 to the right, 4 to the left, and... Oh,
Finished.
bingo. I knew it was for this.
A small telltale sign of a lock opening. He grabbed the handle, took a deep breath, and pulled it up.
Oh, is this some sort of note?
Inside was a piece of paper. It was roughly the same size as the one Clover had been holding.
Let's see.
Junpei picked it up. This is what it said. Fact number 1. The nonary game was played once before 9 years ago. Fact number 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. Fact number 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceuticals CEO, Gintaro Hango. Cradle Pharmaceuticals Chief of Staff, Nagise Nagisaki. Cradle Pharmaceuticals R&D Supervisor, Teruaki Kabuta. Majority shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceuticals, Kagachika Masashido. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. 0. Junpei left the closet. There were 5 people waiting for him in the bedroom. Ace, Lotus, Santa, Seven, and June. He looked at each one of them and turned, then slowly placed his hands in the pockets of his vest.
Sorry, but do you think you could all come with me?
Come with you.
I want all of you to go to the big hospital room.
Why?
There's something I want to be sure of.
What do you want to be sure of?
I want to know if the person I suspect is really the culprit.
Wait, then you're saying...
Yeah, I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Snake and Clover.
The atmosphere in the room changed. Grief was suddenly gone, replaced by tension like a strap of leather stretched to its limit. 5 sets of eyes stared at Junpei. He pretended not to notice.
Anyway, if you could all please move to the big hospital room. I'll explain everything as soon as we get there.
Then, almost as if on cue, the bell began to ring. They all heard it. It was the bell from the clock in the main staircase. What is keeping Lotus' skirt up? I'm wondering how her nipples just haven't exploded out of that top with every fucking breath she takes. The bell rang 5 times, then ceased.
It's 5 o'clock.
We've only got an hour left.
We don't have a lot of time left. Let's go.
Especially in that one scene where she's talking to Junpei, they are almost there. Slowly, one by one, they follow Junpei out of the bedroom.
Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me.
Junpei stopped in front of door number 3 and turned around.
Ace, 7, and Lotus, could you please place your palms on the red?
Hmm?
Huh?
Why? If we need to get to the shower room, why don't we just...
No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door.
Why?
Please, just do it. Or perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover.
Junpei's implication was clear and Seven understood perfectly.
Fine.
What about you, Ace? Lotus?
Very well.
Sure.
Quickly, they pressed the palms on the red. Once they'd finished, they stepped away from the door as Junpei had instructed. 3 asterisks shone from the red's display panel.
I have this idea. I don't think this device responds to a hand placed on it. It instead reacts to a bracelet being brought close. You don't actually need a hand.
Junpei approached it and held his bracelet over the scanner. He made quite sure he didn't place his palm on it, and instead only brought his bracelet near it. The 4th asterisk appeared,
I knew it.
just as Junpei had expected. It was possible to authenticate without placing one's palm on the red so long as the bracelet was brought near it. Junpei pulled the lever down. Door 3 opened like a hungry mouth. 9 long seconds passed, and the door shut unfed. Junpei walked slowly back to the others who were waiting some distance from the door talking to one another.